Hey guys, I'm going to put together something in the crock pot. I just want to share it with you. You may be interested in following along. If you are not experienced in cooking with the crock pot, I am by no means a pro. So what we're going to do is 3 tablespoons of this sea salt here. There's 1 tablespoon right here. There's 2 more. There's some pepper. Right here is some garlic powder. Of course, you can use more of that if you like. So I've got a cup of water in the crock pot. It's on low, and I'll have all this stuff in there. Let's say if I put it in there 4 or 5 o'clock, I would get it tomorrow morning. It would be done. I'd leave it on low overnight. There is the meat that I'm going to use. Normally I use a pound and a half. Whatever is available. I don't really have much of a preference, to be honest with you. I'm very easy. So I'm going to use some organic sweet potatoes, some red, an onion, got some organic beets, and I'll put these in here 5 hours or so after the cooking begins because I don't want the squash to turn to mush. And I also put the kidney beans in there also. So my goal is to take all these ingredients and fill up that crock pot. So it might be that I use more sweet potatoes. I might end up using 1 additional beet. Now that I think about it, I wish I did get a little bit more meat. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so in the freezer I had a tomato from last year. So it's, if you have a garden, it's great. You could always put that in the freezer bag, and here it is. I'll dice it up and throw it in. I've decided to use half this cabbage, so I'll throw that in when I throw in this meat that I'm going to cut up. So I'm just going to cut this meat up into cubes. It's pretty easy to do when you got yourself a sharp knife, you see. So you get the idea with that. Then I'm going to cut up the sweet potatoes. Same thing, cutting off any blemishes. So what I do is I just go like this. So I have control over it. Not to say that's actually the correct way to do it, but I have a feeling it's probably not too far off. And then all you're going to do is go like this. You could put like this. You see, I'm trying to make the cut nice and easy but secure, but also so you can see what I'm doing, which I can't really seem to get a good picture this way because my hand's in the way. Okay, let's try that out again, okay? So we're just going to go back to this meat, get this out of the way. And seeing that I don't have a lot of meat, which really looks like I actually need double than what I have here, I'm just going to go like this and get it out of our way. You see the knife's not making any noise. I'm letting the knife do the work, just slicing through it. The knife is pretty sharp. You can always get a sharpener if you need one. Then going back to the potatoes, which I couldn't show you because I had a lousy angle. So I go like this, and then I just push down. I always leave the tip of the knife on the board. So it just allows me to have a lot of control, you see. Then I could just move over and go like that. There's no chopping going on with none of that. I have a feeling it saves the blade if you don't do that, but again, I am by no means any chef. So that seems to work pretty decent. The size is pretty good, little chunks. I'm going to stir that water, which has got the salt, pepper, and garlic powder in it, okay? So recall that we have a cup of water in there. And I'm just going to take the stuff and I'm just going to dump it into the crock pot as I go. Obviously being careful that I don't splash it all over the place. With the beets, I'm going to peel them some, just like this. Just working my way around. There may be a better way to do this. Also, again, I'm kind of learning as I'm going. Seems to work fairly well. I imagine I can also use a knife to get off some of it. But it seems like this is pretty slippery too, so you probably got to be careful, right? So I think that probably works okay. If you have any comments or a way to do this better, I would appreciate it. Let me know. So the whole goal of sharing this with you is my co-workers are spending $10 to $15 going to the deli for lunch. And I just can't see it. Not only do I not have the money to do that, I don't particularly like the food that they're making. I don't find it worth it. I don't find it satisfying. But I find this to be extremely satisfying, and the price is definitely much more pleasing. So same thing I'm going to do with the beets here. I might not cook one of these beets as much. I might put that, so I've got 3 out here. I might just use 2. And one of them I might just put in there when I put the zucchini in there, because as I mentioned, I don't want the zucchini to turn to mush. And I like sometimes to have my compost bucket over here for the scraps. I like sometimes to have the beet not to be cooked so much. I like the taste of it. So this is just going to be, this tomato is going to cut pretty easy. And I'm going to cut that really any old way because it's going to fall apart in there. They definitely have some good taste, the beefsteak tomatoes. So then I'm just going to get me some regular potatoes here, same thing. I'm just going to cut it like I cut the other ones. And if anyone's got anything to share as far as an easier way to go about cutting this, please let me know. So as I'm doing this and cutting this stuff up, as I mentioned, my goal is to be able to fill up the crock pot with food, because that is going to be my lunch, dinner, and breakfast for a few days. So I'm imagining that I am doing this somewhat correctly, peeling off the onions. I don't know, but there may be a better, easier way. So since I'm putting these in right now, it's okay if I put in larger pieces because they're going to cook down quite a bit. We're just looking for the nutritional factor, putting these in, as well as taste. So then we're going to put this cabbage in here, as I mentioned. And I'll probably use just about half the cabbage. And it's about a 12-hour cook from start to finish on low. I find that usually what I have been doing is being finished with the preparation and putting it all in the crock pot, let's say 5 o'clock, and then the next day I'm getting up, let's say 5 o'clock or 5 o'clock, 5:30, and it's all set and ready to go. And I have breakfast. All right, so let's cut this cabbage. So we'll use half of this and put the rest, as I said, into my compost bucket there. And then we're just going to do the other section here, toss this into the crock pot. And it looks like I'm probably going to need about, I don't know, five more potatoes are going to fit in there. And then, as I mentioned, no, you know what? We're going to do 3 more potatoes. And in about 5 hours, I'm going to put the zucchini in and put the beans in there. And then I'll be good. I hope that was helpful and somebody enjoyed the video. If you like me, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Take care. Here we are, the following day, 5 a.m. So what I do is just drain the water off the lid, wipe it off, and then I'm going to put the lid like this to let it vent some. Then I'll eat some, and I'm just going to put the entire crock pot in the refrigerator like this once I take this section of it out of the base. Hope you like me. If you do, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Take care.